Welcome to DAX Machina. Join us as we explore the mysteries of this world. Cryptids, monsters, macabre tales, and horror stories abound. Could they be true? Are monsters real?
Folks, and thank you all for joining us on another episode of DAX Machina. In the studio with us tonight is Miss Naoma. We've missed her greatly. We're glad she's back with us. And Robbie Rip Raines has also joined us from South Carolina as we bring you part 2 of our, shall we say, exploration of the South Carolina tree video, we'll call it. Miss Naoma, how are you doing?
I am so fine, I can't hardly stand myself.
As Doc would say, finer than frog hair split 4 ways.
Something along those lines, yeah. How about you?
Oh, I'm alive and kicking so far. We're fixing to take some bad weather. So if I just suddenly disappear, it's probably why. We've got a mountain of ugly riding in on us. They're saying a severe winter storm with ice and snow mix. So at first they were saying we were just going to get a dusting, but not so much anymore. They're saying we're going to get a bunch of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Whoever said that, by the way.
Be Sonia.
Was it Sonia that said they liked my hair tonight?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
That was Dorothy Wade that said that.
Was it? Okay, I missed that one. Steve Patton says,
Bad
weather is an understatement. You ain't wrong, brother. Batten down the hatches and make sure you get plenty of firewood.
Yeah, we're fixing to get a whole inch, which in Tennessee is kind of scary.
I was going to say, I'm so sorry.
Me too. I am so disappointed.
If you think he was disappointed, imagine hers.
No, I think we're supposed to get 2 to 3 inches of snow, but
I don't know. Every channel seems to have a little different opinion around here. But I know one thing, it's kind of like done a light misting rain all day today. So the ground and everything is good and wet now that the temperature is dropping below 0. I'd say we're going to have a good coating of ice on just about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit the grocery store yesterday, so I, in theory, shouldn't have to go anywhere for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I did grocery store earlier this week and kind of overdid it, and now I'm thinking we're probably be better off if we are snowed in because we need to get rid of some of this food.
You know what my luck is usually when I stock up big like that, that's when we lose power.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't want to put too much in the freezer because I'll be trying to store it outside, and down here it won't be quite cold enough to be good outside in a cooler outside. So up in Illinois, you could set that stuff out on the porch, and even the raccoons will be like, "Nah, it's too cold for me, dude." So
a lot of people forget to bring their animals in when it gets this cold. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about that. I have a house hippo. If it's even sprinkling outside, he looks at me like, "No, I can hold it," and goes back in the house. That dog is spoiled.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos is watching people let their dogs outside. The little dog runs out on the porch and turns around and runs back in before they ever get the door shut.
He really won't even go that far. You open the door and it's raining, he just kind of goes and goes back in. Like, no, not even trying it. I can hold it.
My younger son.
Why should I go out in the snow when there's a couch in there with my name on it?
My younger son that lives out in Colorado where Doc lives, he had a golden retriever. She passed away a few years ago, but that dog, he would let her out and she would stick her nose down in the snow and she'd run all over the yard with her, just this part of her, just her eyes sticking out above the snow. And she'd come to the door and she'd just be caked in snow and her, even her eyebrows would have. And my son posted a picture of her one time and he got all of this ugly hate comments. How long did you leave that poor dog out there? She was out there like 3 minutes, but she loved to run with her face in the snow. I've never seen a dog do that before. And that was her thing. She loved the snow. And I've never had too many dogs that love snow. They love
Yeah.
laying on the couch and keeping me warm.
We had a bull mastiff named Coda, and his first winter, the first time it snowed, he spent 45 minutes running around the yard, jumping in the air, catching snowflakes. He thought that was a riot.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I could talk about dumb pets all night, because I've had some real Lulus over the years, some really good dogs. But we'll probably hear from Robbie's here shortly. Usually, by the time we go live, we hear one or both of them bark at something.
Yep.
But I thought we would jump in with both feet and talk about this video. We talked about it last Saturday night, y'all, and Miss Naoma was in the chat, and she's had some time to analyze it. And I know some of y'all have had a chance to do it as well. I've gone over it a few times, and I thought I had some pretty good stuff until Miss Naoma sent me hers, and I was like, I don't even want to show mine now.
Oh, don't be that way.
Because the ones you sent are really good.
Well,
Mine were like, if you squint and tilt your head at the right angle, it kind of looks like something here. But no, I don't even want to. It's like red circle photography after what you sent. So we're going to primarily show her. We're going to primarily show her images, but we are going to actually watch the entire video again, and then we are going to start our dissection. So without further ado, I guess we will just watch that video in its entirety with audio, without having to have Robbie hold his phone up, because I actually got a way to download the entire thing. So let's check it out. I hope you can hear this. It sounds like gorillas fighting in the tree. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me. I've never seen anything like it in my life. This is the second time I've come over here. And the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me. And I still cannot figure out what it is. Look, they're ruining this freaking place. What in God's name is it? It's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because just breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to saw. Look, see, he's coming right above me right here. He's fixing to throw something at me, whatever it is. Yeah, they don't like you messing with them. Look. What in God's name is going on? Look, that's bigger than me. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. What in Jesus' name is doing this? Oh my God, he just took half the tree down. Something, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, it's gotta be I don't even think a bear would have a chance in Hades and it doing this. It's something stronger than a bear. And he is pissed. Yeah, that's a healthy tree. About 8 to 10, maybe even 12 inches in diameter that he just broke because he's pissed because I'm getting close to him. I think I'm gonna bounce because I think he just hit the ground which means he's about to face me on foot. And I don't really want to wrestle with somebody that can tear trees down just because they're mad. My God, look at the tree he just freaking broke in half. Okay, well, first off, let's talk about reactions just from watching that. Because I've watched that a bunch of times, but even watching it this time, I'm seeing stuff that is catching my eye almost for the first time. What do y'all think?
Well, I think my first reaction was, what is this? And let's get in here and let's get rid of all possibilities.
Right.
And the first one that I'm going to say is I don't think it's cloaking. I spent way too much time. I unfortunately, what I do have is the ability to go frame by frame, 24 frames per second. So however that many that is times 60 seconds times 3 minutes plus another 4 minutes. And I looked over each frame. And I have the ability to bring it up to 1,600 times. So I actually couldn't bring it that high without losing all of the ability to, it would just blur out on me. But I found at least 2 places where you can see a creature. One was up in a tree, and the other one was actually down on the ground. Because the first thing I did was I wanted to make sure that everything that possibly could be eye shine was not eye shine. 99% of the time, it was either insects moving or a light beyond the trees. There were a couple that were truly eye shine. And you can see the creature outlined with them.
There's a couple points you could also see light reflecting off the pond that was beyond those trees.
Right. And there's some really cool moments in the video when you're looking at it up close where the tree, the leaves are reflecting perfectly to look like a dragon's mouth. But of course, it doesn't hold it long enough. The wind blows and all the teeth go every which way, and you realize it's just. But I was like, man, I'm having fun with this because I saw some really cool pareidolia going on there. But I don't think it's something that's cloaked. I think you can clearly see the creature in at least 2 places that I found. There's another one, because I also spent a lot of time watching what other people did. And there's another place I could not find it, but somebody else had taken a picture, a still from the video where they saw the creature like reaching behind its back and scratching. I never found that. I don't know what they were looking at. In their video, it's clear, but where on the video it is, I could not. So I know that for all of the time that I spent looking at it, there was still a lot more that I didn't see, which is why we should show both of our pictures, because there's stuff that we both didn't see. And there's stuff that I saw that you didn't, and you saw that I didn't. So I think we should get those out there.
Okay.
Do you want to bring up one of the pictures I sent you?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me, we'll start at one end of those and go to the other.
Well, be careful not to bring up the roadkill one. I wanted to bring that up last.
Oh, well, those are kind of in the mix, but I'll bring this first one up.
Okay.
Hold on. And then we'll stop sharing. If my computer will quit acting up.
Now, that one right there, in the couple of frames before it, there was actually another set of eyes on the other side of the other tree. Mm-hmm. And that's what brought me to it. I was trying to dispel the fact that was eyes, and it wasn't. It was an insect moving. In fact, the white light that you can see there was actually either a leaf or I think it was a leaf maybe that was blowing. But below that, if you look really close, and there it is. Can you see it? That wasn't immediately obvious to me until I brought it in frame by frame. And what you can't see there, because this is a still, is it's actually moving ever so slightly, and it eventually went back behind the tree. So that's a face. Yeah. The thing that I found really interesting is both of the two faces that I did find were both almost triangular. And
look at this one, though.
That one there. Yeah. Yeah. They're triangular. Almost like either you're looking at a front view of a snout coming out at you, and I think there's one with capuchin monkeys that I put in there to compare with their face shape. Just for this face shape, not to indicate. I know that a lot of people that have tried to debunk this has said it's capuchin monkeys, but the problem with that is, while they're strong animals, they're not strong enough to break a branch that's 12 to 15 inches thick.
And a large male capuchin weighs less than 20 pounds.
Right. And I believe that he said that they were breaking branches that were 12 to 15 inches thick.
Well, at one point, we see a chunk of that tree big, the size of a freaking car come off.
Yeah. And so that's bigger than what a capuchin monkey can do. But they do have a similar face shape. They also, you could also compare that shape to a baboon or a dog. And I found that really interesting. That I guess what I really find interesting is the fact that, yeah, they are kind of hiding behind the trees, but in reality, they're also kind of sticking their heads out there. Like,
this is the one that really just jumped out at me. And because this is almost the same resolution I found. That's the same image I found, because I found that one. I didn't notice the one next to the tree.
Down lower, yeah.
That one's jumped right out at me.
And if you, actually, I think I did an inset of the one next to the tree.
I'll have to bring that one up separate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to roll through some pictures you're not wanting to see yet.
Sorry about that.
Nah, no problem. It's just the way my computer's doing things.
Yeah, my computer's being a total jerk tonight. You heard me cussing it out earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I was actually finding the same one you found.
I think we lost Miss Naoma.
Yep, she froze up and.
Yeah, she did a zoom in on this one. That's the one I found.
Yeah, that's the one you were showing me before we got started.
And to me, it looks like. Have you seen Creepshow?
Yep, the thing in the box.
Yep.
Yeah. The one with Hal Holbrook. Yeah, that's.
That. Yeah, that's what that looks like. That looks like the thing on Creepshow.
But to address the capuchin monkey thing, and there is a facility here in South Carolina down I don't remember exactly what county it's in, but
isn't it down near Charleston?
It's somewhere right around there, but it's more towards the middle of the state than it is towards the. Anyway, there's been times when those things have gotten out, and a lot of people like to say, "Oh, it was just," but like you said earlier, those monkeys are like on the big side, 20 pounds, 25 at the most.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been moving a tree or breaking branches.
Yeah, they were. They weren't breaking.
Yemassee, 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 South Carolina.
Yep. You mean spell it again? You kind of broke up that first part of it.
I'm sorry. Yemassee. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I think it's Yemassee. That's the lower part of the state, so
yeah,
I could be wrong. That's upstate and low country are two different regions, two different worlds. So, but yeah, they have some kind of little facility down there, and they are apt to escape. We had some escape, not probably 3 months ago, something like that. But like Casey said, they're not big enough at all to do. I mean, these are just those, like the little monkey Ace Ventura had in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Spike. That's
Right.
That's what we're talking about at that facility. You know, it'd take 300 or 400 of them standing on a limb like that to do that kind of damage.
Right. They're definitely not. I mean, even a troop of them probably couldn't have done that. The other thing is that dispels that is the fact that you can hear a growl. And
Yeah.
I've played
Hear a growl a few
monkey.
times.
Yeah, I played the monkey sounds, and they're all high squeaky. Definitely not. None of them are going. "Arr."
And the monkey escape was just like in September or October.
October.
It was actually
This-
November.
But this video was recorded 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's not the first escape that they've had. They've had several escapes from that facility. But I don't. It still doesn't matter. I don't care how many escapes they've had. It doesn't match the profile.
No.
Right.
Like I said, it'd take 300 or 400 of them sitting on one of those limbs to do the kind of damage that we were seeing. And if there was that many of them in there, we'd have seen more than what we just caught right there. I mean, because that many of those little things running around in the trees, you'd have heard them and you would have seen them. They'd have been all over the place. If they'd been that upset and that they were breaking limbs, you would have seen more of them.
Now, the images I caught that I'm going to bring up next, the images I caught are not as good as yours because you were able to stop it frame by frame. I was looking at the frame shots. I had like 3 images of this same thing, but all I could bring up was the eye shine. What you brought up kind of blew my mind because I just thought I'd done something in the open.
I keep going to the wrong screen, and I was like, "How is he doing that? He's not moving his mouth." I'm on the wrong tab of my computer. Yes.
I found the eye shine right there, but I didn't really see anything else. But you brought that still up, and even looking at this distance, you can see the body. You can see its arm.
Yeah.
That's not a bear.
No.
That's that super luminal eye shine you get when you're shining a light directly into something's eyes. And I don't think this is cloaking. I think this is those clear hair shafts that we've talked about. I think they're diffusing the light.
Yeah, and I think that also I compared the eye shine to everything I could think of that would be up in a tree. Owls, raccoons, possum, everything I could think of to be up in a tree. First of all, I don't think any of them would be up in the tree if the tree's being tore down around their ears. But secondly, the eye shine didn't match any of them.
Well,
it came closest to matching
the eyes right
barn.
here, but to me, that looks like a sagittal crest right above the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
You can see the dome shape of the head right there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the arm and the torso, and then looks like the legs kind of fade into the darkness.
Now, on my screen, and again, I foolishly didn't mark down my times when I was doing this, and I wish I had because it'd be so much easier for me if I had done that. But on my screen, I was able to bring it up, and that's why I had the monkey over, what is the word I'm looking for? Superimposed on the pictures, because it is a sort of that shape, but this looks almost like it's coming out.
I mean,
like this from the
DA. Think of all the times that we've talked about adaptive camouflage, and look at that picture that you got circled right there.
Mm-hmm. To me, that is a great example of adaptive camouflage.
Look in the middle; it looks green. Look at the below, right where the limb's at, and then right above the eyes, it's black. It's green where there's a green tree limb right there in front of it. That's where you're seeing the green. There's no tree limbs around the black area. That's where you're seeing the black. That's adaptive camouflage at work. The light shining. If that flashlight was not shining on that, if you were just looking at that, you wouldn't see the glow of those eyes. That just looked like a piece of foliage right there on that limb, because that's adaptive camouflage at work.
LS 420 Stoner, he says, it just jumped on me. if that's a Sasquatch-like creature, isn't it kind of far away? Not necessarily. I mean, that we're looking at this was shot on a cell phone camera, so that's actually probably much closer to him than we realize. As I shoot video with my cell phone all the time, and it always makes everything look like it's so much farther away. That's why when you like if you're looking at a full moon and you can see it, it looks like the size of a beer can in the night sky, and you try to film it with a camera, it looks like just like a little dot. You can barely get it at all.
Plus, like that could be a juvenile too, so it could be smaller, and which would make it look further away if it is a younger one and smaller way. But to me, that is the definition of what adaptive camouflage is supposed to do. It's picking up the colors that need to be picked up and redirecting them, and that's why, like I said, if the flashlight was not causing that tapetum lucida to shine like that, you would not be able to see that creature. That's the only thing that gives it away is that eye shine.
Yeah. Well, I'll zoom in on the one that's back here. I mean, until it starts to get blurry, you can still see the arm and the torso, and it kind of looks like part of the leg back here and over here, but it's faded. I mean, but he's also shooting this with a low resolution cell phone.
Right. Unfortunately, if everything was more high resolution, I tried even switching it to 4K, but it didn't help me. We would get a lot better. We'd be getting a lot better stills out of this, but and I'm not the expert. I mean, I'm certainly
I'm certainly not either.
But this was the best I could do.
Now, do you want to talk about that roadkill image?
Yeah, go ahead and bring it up.
Okay. And I don't know when this was taken. Do you?
19. Oh, hang on. Let me tell you. It was in. There's a reason. This is sort of 1996 is when that was taken. There's a reason I included this. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but this is a very famous roadkill. It's called the Derridden roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 1996. It happened in Derridden. I think it's Derridden or Redidden. I don't remember. It's Derridder, Deridder, Louisiana. A woman was driving down Highway 12 outside of town, plain old two-lane blacktop, and she saw what she thought was a very odd-looking roadkill. Curiosity got the best of her, so she pulled over to look at it. And at a time before everybody carried cell phones around and cameras in their phones, she just happened to have a camera in her car, and she took some pictures of it.
It looks like
The thing now, when she described this thing, she said it was about the size of an adult St. Bernard, about a 250-pound animal. She said that the thing that was the most bizarre for her, and you really can't see clearly in any of the pictures, that's probably the one that's clearest, is the hind legs were very ape-like. The hind feet were very ape-like. They weren't dog-like. The front feet were more like claws, but the back feet were definitely ape-like. And at one point, the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries looked at it and they said, "Oh, that's a dead Pomeranian on the side of the road." I have never in my life seen I've never seen a 250-pound Pomeranian. Have you?
That's a big damn Pomeranian.
But over the years,
first dog?
People have come to that's Dogzilla right there. People have come to think that this is a devil monkey. And, we know that those are started in Virginia in the 1950s is the first time any of them were seen, but they've spread across the country. They've been seen as far west as New Mexico and Utah. And I'm wondering if what was in that guy's tree was devil monkeys.
Well, we've also talked about on the show that we think devil monkeys may just be juvenile gugway.
Yeah, I would agree from based what they look like.
I mean, it would make a lot of sense, especially with their behavior, because devil monkey encounters are always violent.
Right.
I mean, look at the Napa rebobs. They think those are a type of devil monkey, and those damn things are violent.
Yes. And so that's why I included that, because that I think that's what we're getting an image of. And I think that that's why the face looks, it doesn't necessarily, and I wish I could have gotten a better picture of the face. I couldn't. The face has sort of a triangular, almost like part of it's jutting out, like you're looking straight on at a snout. I think it's a snouted creature.
In this image right here, let me bring it back up. And this is one of your highlighted, brought up images. Like what Arby and I were saying, you know, said that the way this, the slanting of the eyes reminded me on Creep Show when that thing had a snout.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of, the shape of the head, almost like a mandrill type snout. Not canine, more primate, but I don't know if it's quite as pronounced as like a full-on mandrill, but to me that looks like it's sloping inward with the way the eyes are set up.
Yeah. I think it is. I really do believe it's a snouted creature. It's the only thing that would explain the shape of the face for me in the images that I was able to zero in on. And again, like I said, those are the only two that I really got decent photos of. Everything else was so blurry. I wasn't going to come on here with a bunch of red circles for you.
Yeah.
And
I didn't want to do that either.
Yeah. So I took the ones that I found that I thought were the best.
And I agree. I think they are the best. They're way better than anything because I couldn't slow it down like you did. I was just getting blobs.
I actually was
the shape to the blob, but
yeah, I was so tempted to send you a link to my StreamYard and have you watch it with me frame by frame, but it was taking so much time. I thought DA probably doesn't have time to do this for 3 hours.
Would have done it. Now,
next time we come like this, I will.
YouTube video. And one of our viewers, one of the moderators, Roxanne Delgado, she sent me some time indexes to look at, and I thought about doing those, just doing them live, so you get the cold reaction. And this is the first one. Okay, I'm not going to play the video. I am just simply going to bring it up stopped at the point where she sent me the time indexes, and we will all take a look together. Here's the first one. Now, what she said about this one is this is at 19 seconds. It looks like a hand in the middle of the screen. Now, that is tough to zoom in on, but I will do my best. If it's in the middle of the screen, that's got to put it somewhere around in here. And let me see if I can. Nope, it won't let me. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to zoom in without screen capping it.
Can I share my screen and put it up where I can do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me first see.
It should let you.
Hang on. Let me see if I can first get to that point.
Okay.
And then we'll go. Hand in the middle of the screen. Let me do this. Oh. Well, while I can move, I can't make it. So I'm going to try this. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll see.
We'll give it a shot. If it works, it works.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try this. And let's go here. Share that. And let me see. Well, son of a gun. I lost us, didn't I?
I just push it back up and I'll put it back up on the screen. Since she also used the magnifying glass to see it better. Well, hopefully we'll be able to chime in on that.
I'm going to try this. Hang on. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. That's not the one I want. Yeah, and share that. I'm sorry. I thought that I could bring it up. No, I don't even want that. I think it's because my computer is so overcrowded with stuff because it just quit. I don't know if I'm still here with you.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
here.
Because I just stopped. My Premiere Pro actually froze up on me. So I don't think I'm really looking forward to getting the new computer because this clearly isn't powerful enough for what I wanted to. So we'll go back to yours. I'm sorry.
Hey, not a problem. Well, that first one, I'll go back to it in a minute. But this is a different time index on the same video. This is at about 31 seconds. I'm going to actually back it up a couple of seconds. I dropped it down to 30. Now, when I play, again, I can't blow this up. Actually, I might be able to a little bit. Nope, that was worse. Maybe I can do it this way. Oh, yeah, that helped. Okay. Now, when I hit play, watch this area right in here where my cursor's moving. You can see something moving, and it's not just the tree. See it?
Okay, I do remember that one, and I did
There's
zero
something
in
else
on
over
it.
here as well. Let me go back about 5-6 seconds. Now watch this area and this area up here. And maybe it was this area here, but just watch any of those areas. There is something that moves. Something went from here to here, and it did it quick. Watch it. Something goes from over here to over here, and it moves fast. It took out a branch as it moved too. You can actually see the branches push as it jumps away and then hits over here. You don't see the thing itself, but you do see the movement caused by it.
Yeah, I actually caught that one, and I went through it frame by frame, and I couldn't catch anything to show you on that one. The one below it, the one below it is I was able to determine that was actually what I saw moving wasn't an animal; it was trees and leaves moving. But the one that in the big opening there, I couldn't catch anything to prove what it was, but I couldn't disprove it either.
Speaking of that, Spencer's in the chat. He had a video that he did a review on today. Almost the same type of scenario where people were just kind of over it. Oh, that was this. It was a guy. Things like this are coming around a lot more now.
Okay, and on this one, I'm going to play. I'm going to play and then drag it back a couple of times. Watch the area up toward the top. And again, this is not good enough for me to grab a freeze frame. And you know what I'm going to do? I am going to drop that back, and I'm going to slow it down. So let me. Where's it at? No. Let's go to max quality. That's as good as I can get it. And let's see if I can slow it down. Playback speed. There we go. Let's go to 0.25. Okay. All right. So watch the upper portion of the screen. And I'm going to let this go. It's probably going to be closer to 20 seconds because we're actually looking at about 6 seconds. More than that. Probably about 10 seconds of video. Okay. So just watch it. And what the 106 time index, you can almost see the face. There's the 106 time index. Okay. That's where you found that. Remember that? Mm-hmm. But there's also something up here. So there's definitely more than one thing in the tree.
There's no doubt in my mind that there was stuff that I missed that,
Well,
I mean, it was just so overwhelming.
there has to be more than one. There's just so much going on in here. There's so many limbs breaking. There's so many limbs moving. There, you know, I would say there's probably 5 or 6 things in the tree, plus not even counting what's on the ground.
Watch this spot right here. Okay, I'm going to back it up just a couple seconds, but watch that spot. This spot, it'll be right up in here. Watch it. There it is, right there. You can see some of the face of something sticking out of that tree. It is watching the light.
What is the
That is at time index 106 on the video.
darn it, I'm still not responding.
There is something up there, and that just a second before is not there. I'm going to back it up like a second. Watch that exact same spot, and it just disappears. We've got several things moving.
I mean, yeah, you and I have been in the woods all our lives. We've been in the woods together. We've heard branches fall. 1, 2, 3. How many freaking branches fall out of those trees right there in that one span of what, a 3-minute video?
A lot of branches come down.
I've never, unless it's like a tornado going on, I've never seen that many limbs fall in that short of amount of time frame. They're just limbs falling. There's something in that tree, some things in that tree, breaking limbs, throwing limbs down, and acting a fool. I mean, there's just, it ain't a bear. It ain't a 500-pound squirrel.
And if this one, up here, look toward the top, it almost looks like a set of hands. See it? Right there.
Yeah, something reaches up and grabs that limb.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like Cajun Dog said, even an ice storm don't break limbs that quick.
Right. Yeah, you can see it literally reach out and grab that branch. Again, I can't with any degree of certainty say what it is, but I can tell you what I feel like it is. Okay, now in the next few seconds, you're going to actually see something jump from one tree to another. Okay, and again, I'm going to play it at slow. Should be happening just about any time. It starts at time index 233 and goes to 235. So we'll be watching. You should see something jump from one tree branch to another. Time index coming up right about now. See it?
Yep.
I didn't. Show me again. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
And while you bring it up, something else that we hadn't, I don't know, I can't remember if we did or didn't last time.
Mr. Elma, watch this area right here.
Okay.
Back it up about a second. Because you don't get a look at it for very long. And I wish I could slow this down more than just, 25%. If you could go by this from frame to frame, you can actually see that thing.
I see it. Yep. Okay.
And that's from time index 233 to 235 on the video.
But think about this, DA. I don't know. We may have said it. we may have said it, but I can't remember if we did or not. There's a lot of movement going on in that tree. But look at the area around the other areas. The trees aren't moving. It's not windy. So you can rule
That
out
is not
wind
the wind.
because
Well,
it's
that you'd hear it on the
isolated.
cell phone. If there's
Yeah.
any wind at all when I'm recording my cell phone, it's like,
Yeah. So I'm like I said, playing devil's advocate, trying to, like Naomi said, the first, let's go through here and rule out. We can rule out wind because the spots that are moving, and it looks like wind would cause that. But if you look around and the spots where nothing's going on, the trees are not moving, the limbs aren't moving, so it's not wind.
I'm going to let this play. From here on to the end of the video, you're going to see a ton of eye shine. Now, some of that, like right down here, you can see a reflection off the pond. So some of that is lights from the apartments on the other side of that pond, but not all of it. Like that's a light from the pond. The light over here is from the pond, but that is definitely not light from a pond, and I don't think that is either. But some of it is. Some of it's reflected light on the pond, but some of it is definitely eye shine. There's a lot of crap flying through the air.
Yeah.
Those things are jumping all over those trees. They're putting all kinds of junk in the air.
Yeah, that's pollen, leaves, whatever is in dirt, whatever is caught in those branches and on those leaves. That's what's falling. Somebody put on the comments that they thought it was snow. That ain't obviously it ain't snow, but because if it was, he probably wouldn't be going fishing because there's not a lot of ice fishing in South Carolina. But that.
Agent Dog says there was a second one on the ground behind the tree. At that point, or from there on out, we see a bunch of potential eye shine behind the trees. Now that one I think was probably a light from the pond, but I don't think that is, because it goes back behind the tree a couple of times.
Yeah, LS. This is an apartment complex in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Behind one.
Oh, for the love of...
I'm going to see if I can... What's up? I'm going to see if I can find the spot where that big tree branch comes down.
Oh, my goodness. I would like to try sharing my screen again.
Go for it.
Sharing is caring, Naomi.
Let's try this one more time. Okay. This starts at, if you look, you can see 235.01. Okay. This is the spot in the tree. I'm going to move this forward frame by frame. Tell me if you can see this happening. And I am coming up on two. What is that?
I don't know. That is just the craziest looking thing. But that's the image up close of what we saw. That's that particular opening. And this is me moving back and forth within that. I'm doing this frame by frame. This is the hard part about going over video.
Yeah.
You don't see it, and then bang, there it is. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's finding it the first time is the problem.
That's the clearest moment right there. But I don't for the life of me know what that thing is. I don't know.
I can't explain it either.
Yeah. That's the best I can do for you in that 235 frame.
Well, to me, it's enough to say there's something there. We just can't tell what it is.
Yeah, I think it's actually the creature from, what is it, Predator?
No, I think this just
What
just
are
strengthens-
you? Do you remember doing that to me, DA?
Yeah.
I think it just strengthens our talk about, adaptive camouflage, because it backs up everything that we've said for the past 2.5, almost 3 years, DA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the video of the doll sheep that we've shown. You don't know how many of them are there until they all stand up.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I can stop sharing now. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's interesting. So I've got it back up and going. So if you want me to try to bring anything up closer, this would be the time to do it.
Well, I tell you, the perfect time to do it is between 2:15 and 2:25, because that's when the big branch comes down.
All right.
I'm going to bring mine up and play that section while you're isolating that section.
All right.
Okay, and this again is playing at slow speed. So watch this entire section right here in the middle, because a massive chunk of that is going to come down. And we're not talking one or two little sticks that come out of the tree. This is a very, very big section of the tree.
Oh gosh, I'm making this so much harder on myself and you guys too.
Yeah, a little capuchin monkey didn't do that.
No, I mean, that was a whole tree. I mean, it was a chunk of that tree, but that's as big as some trees in that video.
Watch this section
Wait a
when
minute.
the branch gets out of the way. Watch that section in particular. Because to me, right here, I'm going to try to roll it back as short as I can. It looks like something goes from kind of standing there to rolling back behind the tree to not be seen. So I'm not going to take it back much, maybe a second. But watch this section right in here. Do you see that whole thing flip?
Okay.
Watch it as soon as he hits it with the light, you see the entire section shoot back behind that tree. Just as soon as the light gets there, something goes. I mean, the split second before he actually gets into the beam, something moves. Watch as this branch falls, and then concentrate on this blank spot right in here. See it? Robbie, did you see it?
Yep, I saw it the first time you pointed it out.
Hang on.
Something flips back behind that tree before he can highlight it with the light. It's right there.
Okay. Stop right there. I want to see if I can. That's
Gotcha. That's around 220.
Okay.
Maybe 219. From 219 to about 221 in there.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can bring yours up.
Okay.
DA play. Oh, never mind. Neil was bringing it up. Derek Carr said that there were vehicle sounds in it. I want
I did hear a couple vehicle sounds at a couple points on the audio, but it doesn't sound like they were close by.
Yeah, and they are in an apartment complex. But
Yeah.
I want to know that you know, that's why I said what sounds. I'm not. Legitimately want to know what he's talking about. So
Sounded like a truck to me a couple of times, but it wasn't close.
Okay, I switched it to vertical, so a different workspace, so it gives us a little more room to look at it. And I'm going to move it forward. We're starting at 219.20. Do you want me to go back to 219?
Yeah, go back to 219.
All right. Okay.
Because where we really start to see it is while the light isn't fully on it.
There was something in there right in this area here, right?
Yeah.
Can you see my mouse when I do that? Probably not.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Now, am I getting too high up?
No, I think you may not be high enough.
All right.
Because the tree branch falls and he starts panning the light up into that empty spot. And as the trailing edge of that light comes up to near that V in the tree,
Uh-huh.
that's when whatever it is flips behind the big part of the branch.
All right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go to fit and then let's go. All right. And let's go back to 219. I'm not.
I think we may be on the wrong part of the tree. Let me look at the video.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're a little bit too far to the right. If you could bear left a little bit.
I've got the whole video in the frame now,
Okay.
and I've got it centered. I didn't have it centered a minute ago, but I
Me?
just centered it.
What it looks like to me is right. Okay, pause it. Bring your mouse up. Up a little more. Up a little more. Right in there is what I'm seeing. Down a little. Where that near that V. Where
Right
that V
here?
right there. That's where I see something move every time.
Okay.
He starts bringing that trailing edge of the light up and it moves before the light can get fully on it. And that might be it. Right there behind that tree.
Yep. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a clean spot for it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any clear images at all. Simply because it was shot on such a low resolution, cell phone camera.
Darn it. Boy, if there's a body here. Well, now I'm trying too hard, I think. But I don't know. Let me move this over.
Sentinel in the house.
What's up, Sentinel? It's literally just after the big branch falls.
Okay. Big branch falls. Oh, I may be too far beyond it now. Okay. Oh, I have looked at so much of this video for so long that my eyes are starting to blur over. Do you ever have that image or that problem? I feel like there's got to be something.
Derek, I would agree that somebody, that this would have been a faked video had it not been taken 2 years ago and people just now noticed it. If this was a hoax, he'd have made a big deal out of it 2 years ago. It just got picked up as a short clip on TikTok, or nobody would have ever noticed it. I don't think this was an attempt at a hoax, simply because, if you were going to perpetrate a hoax, you'd do something about it right away. If you go through all of that trouble to hoax a video, why would you just post it on an obscure channel and forget about it?
And let it sit, especially when you're damaging property like that.
Because if they damaged property, those trees like that, if they tore down that many limbs in a apartment complex, they're going to have to pay for the damages, and two, they're probably going to get kicked out. I really don't think this is a faked video. I can't say for sure what's up in that tree. I know what I feel like it is, but
And you know what? Whether it's real or not, whether it's fake or not, nobody knows. That's what we're going through this video for. If you don't believe it's real, fine. Nobody's forcing anybody's opinions on anybody else. And whether or not that we want it to be real, we're just reacting to what we see. If you don't believe it's real, fine.
Nobody's forcing you to believe anything.
Elma's nose, no skin off DA's nose or anybody else.
Leave the skin on my nose. Thank you.
It'd be a very hard thing to hoax.
Yeah.
Now, putting somebody out there in a hairy suit walking between trees, pretty easy to hoax. Probably not the brightest thing to do in a crowded area, because somebody's going to shoot you. But that is entirely possible that they could put somebody out there in a monkey suit, try to fool people for clickbait. But to go to the lengths that it did, to how much they tore up that tree, to me, that's pushing the edge of believability to where it becomes harder to believe it's a hoax than it is to believe it's real.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said the same thing about the Patterson Gimlin footage. Oh, it's too good to be true, so that means it's got to be fake. Well, what does Occam's razor say?
That it's got to be sharp to shave your face.
No, that's straight razors. Occam's razor.
Yeah.
It says the most logical answer is probably the right answer.
The simplest answer is usually
So there, if you don't believe it, there again, that's fine. Nobody's trying to force that. Nobody's trying to sit here and beat it down anybody's throat that this is real. The three of us believe it's real, but if nobody else believes it's real, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just reacting on what
we say it all the time. Form your own opinions.
Yeah, no, I would definitely not want to force anybody to have my opinion on a lot of things. The least of all this, because, an unhealthy mind thinks strange things. But at least for the love of Pete, look at what we're saying and either,
and
get rid of it or accept it, but don't ignore it.
If you watch part 1 of this video or of this series, you'll see that DA and I both, and I'm sure Naomi, after I'm sure she spent as much time this past week as DA and I did the week prior, looking at this video, going through it and saying, okay, what could they have done to hoax this? How could this have been hoaxed? What would they have had to done? All this kind of stuff. And you brought up the car sound. I never heard a car sound, but it does stand to reason that you're going to hear cars because they're in an apartment complex.
I think one of the lights that I saw moving in the background actually was a vehicle light.
It could be. I'm going to play the whole video again with audio. Yeah. And if you listen, Robbie, you can hear the truck. You can hear it a couple times.
And, that's fine. I didn't hear it. And I'm not saying that it didn't. I'm just saying I didn't hear one.
Well, I'll play the whole video now with the audio. So, we can all hear it again with fresh ears. I hope you can hear this. It sounds like gorillas fighting in the tree. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me. I've never seen anything like it in my life. This is the second time I've come over here. And the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me. And I still cannot figure out what it is. Look, they're ruining this freaking place. What in God's name is it? It's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because it's breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to saw. Look, see, he's coming. Did you guys hear the truck?
I did.
Because I was listening for it.
It was close.
But before that, yeah, it was when he said that, I was thinking like it was supposed to be something like right in. That's why I didn't hear it, because I was so focused on what he was saying and the limbs crack. Yeah, it's like it's like they're on next to a road. I mean, yeah, I heard that, but I wasn't focused in on that. I was focusing on the other. But yeah, I do hear trucks in the background now. But that's not the way I took. The way I took it was like right there within the shot.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
Yeah, whoever was filming that was getting a much better look than we were.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the beginning of a new month. I'm going to give away some channel memberships.
Cool.
We're going to give away 5. So good luck, y'all. Whoever's in the chat, wish y'all luck. And I'll keep my fingers crossed it doesn't pick me yet again. Okay, looks like Derek R. got one. Steph, not that Steph, don't side-eye me, got one. Ace Banner got one. SC007 got one. And Jeff Ryan's got one.
Cool. Cool beans. Congratulations.
And we can only follow that up with another 5. So let's do it one more time. Good luck, everybody, and hope you guys win. And this time, Mammy J Hall got one. Rogue Status got one. Slappo Stank 99 got one. Crystal J got one, and Jay Fritz got one. Sweet.
Woohoo.
Y'all welcome to the channel.
Someday I'm going to be able to afford a membership. Unfortunately, I'm so poor I can't pay attention.
I know
So
that.
you just have to love me as a human.
Then we do.
Oh, shoot. Anyway, I don't know. I personally think you got double monkeys going on there.
I think it's something along those lines. And
Yeah.
and again, I think the likeliest candidate for devil monkeys are juvenile big gugway.
Yeah.
And we know from Robbie's own encounters out in South Carolina that they tend to get a little aggressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bossy little behinds, aren't they?
Yeah.
Don't you love how I saved that? I've been practicing not cussing.
Roxanne, since NVTV has theirs watermarked, I could probably get a copyright strike for reusing theirs.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do the.
Yeah, I can. If it's not got a watermark on it, I feel safer doing it. I don't think I should do the NVTV ones because, if I play too much of it, I can get a copyright strike.
Yeah. Aw.
C. Blanton says, y'all look at 218 upper corner in the shadows. You can see an ape jump at 218. Okay. Which upper corner?
I think that was the one we were talking about earlier, maybe, because I think I remember you saying something about 218.
Well, I just took it to 217. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Okay. I'm going to enhance as much as I can. He said upper, so if it's the upper side, it's going to be one of these two sides. So again, this is at 1/4 speed. There it is. There it is, bigger than life. I will try to. Right there. Miss Naoma, I'm at 217, and it is literally right here where my cursor is.
Okay,
Watch this section.
All right.
Watch this section.
That's the one me and you talked about after we went off the air last week.
Yep. Did you see that? It's still kind of there. Watch this section right here.
Because that's the one you said. I wish he'd had his flashlight up there on that.
Okay, I see what you're seeing.
You can actually see it stretched out right there.
Okay, 217.
Right there. That's the back half of whatever it is. I wish I could rock this back just like a frame at a time.
Well, I'm going to find it on here, and we will do exactly that.
Okay. I can't give you a time index, but I'm on 217, and it's starting to move.
Okay.
You see where I'm pointing at on the camera? On the video?
Okay. Let me find that branch. All right, and you're to
at about 60% up on the image. It's not all the way up, but it's just slightly over halfway.
Okay. I just hit the wrong stinking. Come on. So it's to the left of that branch, right?
Right there. It's at the very left edge of the screen. That is it right there. But I think Robbie's right. I think it's dispersing the light. And I don't know if that's necessarily blending, but if it's got clear hair shafts in its hair, like a lot of researchers have found samples with those clear hair shafts, that's exactly what it's going to do to indirect light.
Yep. I told you this just strengthens what we've been talking about for the past 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, I'm playing it one more time. You can see the entire figure come from behind this branch and stretch out as it goes off camera. Just watch right in here. As he brings the camera over, you can see it. There it is. It's just starting to move right there.
All right. I saw it come right. It looks like it's actually coming right from the base of that branch. So.
And there it starts to move. There the whole thing just leaps out. Not a bear.
Too far. Too far up on this video.
That moves like a primate.
I just can't seem to pin it down on this video.
Nathan, I wish I could. Maybe Miss Naoma can. All I've got the technical ability to do is actually show the video. Maybe Miss Naoma can enhance it somewhat, but I can't do that on YouTube, unfortunately.
I can brighten it up. I can contrast it. There's a lot of things I can do, but I was finding that they weren't necessarily helping the situation. And this is making me crazy that I cannot find this on this video. I'm going back to...
God, I wish I could slow it down even further. Because it happens so fast. I don't react quick enough to pause it.
Okay, I'm going to share and
Okay,
help me.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe you can help me find what I'm looking for. Okay. Now we're in 17.
I think you're at the wrong time index.
What should it be?
I don't know. It's not looking like what I've got on my screen.
I thought it was 217.
Yeah, 216, 217, right in there.
And it right, this is the branch that I should be looking at.
I think so. All right, go ahead and let it roll forward just a little bit.
He didn't have a flashlight on the video you were, or the part you were showing a minute ago, DA.
He didn't have it on there?
Yeah, the flashlight was not on.
Well, I'm all the way up to 20 now. So I'm going to do here. Let's try this.
Are you looking at the time index on the TikTok video?
Yeah, it's probably a little different, isn't it?
Sync up. I'm going by the YouTube video, the full version.
That's why we're not syncing. That's where something jumps to the...
My Lord, I just discovered a feature of YouTube I didn't know I had before.
Which is what?
It's going to let me do more precise scrolling.
Oh, well, let me quit sharing and...
I'm trying to find it now. Yeah, what I've discovered that I thought was going to be helpful is not helpful at all. It just makes it blurrier.
Oh, no. Okay, I think I may have found the moment. I had to go all the way back to 6 seconds, 2 minutes, 6 seconds. See if I can catch that. Well, I thought I had it, but it's still not.
Hang on just a second. I'm going to try to email you the full video.
Okay.
It's probably going to require, yeah, it's 99 meg. It'll email it to you. But
Yeah, but
then,
I'll have to get it out of
yeah,
Google.
okay. Just sent it.
Okay. Let me get it here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, oh.
You get it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it over to.
Okay. On that, it's at 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've got that exact up. Okay, I'm gonna share again.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. This is still my. Well, that's not where I want to be. This is where I want to be. This is still my
Vicky
TikTok
Denison says-
video.
Vicky Denson says, I feel like we're on a Discovery Channel seeking out the truth.
Okay, find out what I want to share here. Come on, computer, don't play games with me. Now, is that looks like the same moment, right?
Looks about right.
Yeah, so it's only about 10 seconds off. But going frame by frame actually starts making me feel a little car sick after a while because it jerks forward ever so slightly. Let's just do this. Did anything jump? We lose focus. There it is. Right?
Yeah, starting to come out.
Okay, let's bring this all the way up as big as we can. Let's not bring it quite so big. Let's go to about 800. Going forward. No, let's go 640. Going forward, coming
There it is.
backward, going forward.
And there you've got it mid jump.
Yeah.
But it's still so grainy, you really can't tell what it is. But it's something. It's clearly something that goes from one branch to another. It's not a branch. It's something that leaps from one branch to another.
Yeah. could almost see an arm there.
Yeah.
Going back, coming forward. But I wish I could get a better. I just wish I could get a cleaner.
I think that's about as clean as you're going to make it from a cell phone video.
Yeah.
I mean, that video we took in Joe Bald was shot on a cell phone, and we could only clean it up so much.
Yeah, we need Thinker Thunker here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Boy, I wish I could get it better.
Yeah, if he's watching, or if any of you any of you guys want to mention it to him, on the YouTube version of the video at the time index 2 minutes 17 seconds, something moves from one tree to another.
And it's 2 minutes 14 seconds on the YouTube or on the TikTok video, between frames about 10 and 23. And I'm going to manipulate this.
And here it is one time on the whole screen. There it appears, and there it jumps. Again, folks, not making any claims on what it is. What I know what it ain't. It ain't a bear, and it ain't something that's natural to that area.
I'm so sick and tired of my computer being worn out and not letting me do what I need to do here.
Yeah, I can't definitively say what it is. I think it's, to me, the most likely candidate, but because of the shape of the eyes and the way that face looked, I'm going to guess it's a young Gugway. But again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not telling you what. If you guys have an idea what you guys think it is, you could be right. I could be totally wrong. Just Ryan says, definitely not a skadooshing panda. Wyatt says, Lord help him if it's a Gugway. Yeah. Well, they were being aggressive and throwing branches at him, so. They brought down a good sizable chunk of that tree.
Well, I don't think it's so worried about it being the young Gugway. It's the older Gugway that are probably at the bottom of the tree watching, because that's probably what that.
Just a guy who yaps his DA question: if following the evolution theory, what prehistoric animal would you believe the Gugway to evolve from? Well, during the megafauna days, there was a giant version of the baboon that wandered North America.
Okay, guys, I want to share one more time, and then I'll quit. I'll give it up, I promise. I have brightened this and contrasted it and sharpened it. So, darn it. I lost my screen. Here I am. Okay.
Angry Drunken, yeah, it's documented that there were giant baboon-like creatures in North America during the megafauna days. And speaking of megafauna, here's something that might give people some pause. There was a hunting guide up in British Columbia that took a group out and said that they saw a big cat, and everybody in the hunting party said, yeah, it had to be some sort of mountain lion, but the way they described it, from the size of the teeth, sounded like a smilodon or saber-toothed tiger. For those of you who don't know,
a dentist named that one, right?
Yeah.
Well, there are 3 types of smilodon, and the smallest one is bigger than the biggest tigers we have now. The bigger one is about the size of a liger.
There's 3 kinds of smilodons: those that smile when it sees it's going to eat you, those that smile while they're eating you, and those that smile once they're full. It's only 3 there is. Sorry.
Well, when the scientific name of one of them is Smilodon fatalis, that tells you all you need to know about it.
It's gonna kill you. C. Blanton says, I've never heard the term devil monkey before. Just Google devil monkey. There have been sightings of devil monkeys in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, all along the Appalachians. In California, there's an area they refer to them as the rebobs, the REBOB. But from the descriptions, it's another type of aggressive devil monkey. But I honestly, we talked about this with other researchers, including Ryan Paul Tremblay and a couple others, that we think that devil monkeys may actually just be juvenile gugway because of the way they behave.
I'm writing my next video right now, and I'm doing it on devil monkeys. And if you don't mind, I'm going to include that theory and credit it to you.
By all means, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
if you're doing a video on, if you're doing a video on them right now, how about you take a couple seconds and lay some knowledge on us then?
I've only started. I started actually. What caught my attention was that I was trying to find something that might be explainable in these trees, and I happened to come across that DeRitter roadkill, and which I had heard about it only vaguely years ago, and it was like I need to refresh myself. And as I was reading about it, and I got to the part about the Pomeranian, I started laughing until somebody else said, "Well, yeah, that's what they say, but we think it's a devil monkey." Well, then I remembered, I always called him the Virginia devil monkey because I thought that was the only place that you were going to find the devil monkey was in Virginia. I thought it was a strictly Virginia cryptid. It is not. It goes all the way back to 1959. One of the most famous occurrences happened in 1994. And it did happen in Virginia. Actually, it happened sort of in West Virginia because the woman she was going someplace and she wound up having to detour. And you know how detours can inadvertently get you lost. And she happened to be going down this road she wasn't familiar with, and the thing crossed the road in front of her, and then it attacked her vehicle. And so that's as much as I know about them right now. I can say that devil monkey tends to be 4 to 5 feet tall. Some people have reported them to be 7 feet tall, but usually those are people start saying, more along gugway and things like that when they get that big. But to
me, it makes the most sense because their behaviors are so similar.
Yeah, they're both very aggressive creatures. They're both highly aggressive and territorial, extremely territorial, which is also something that we know about gugway, is that when they move into the area, they chase everything else out. Right. And so, and that's common with the devil monkey too. So, I'm looking forward to I just started digging into this. I got a little sidetracked yesterday when I was trying to gather up my pictures and decide what ones were good enough to send and what ones I needed to delete. I had a lot of red circle.
Nathan Finn just mentioned that there, as recently as 6 weeks ago, was a sighting in New York of devil monkeys. And I asked him if he'd send me the link. You should probably get it from him too.
Yeah, send it to me, kid.
Yeah, so devil monkeys recently sighted Albany, Kentucky. Oh, wait, it wasn't New York, it's Kentucky. Albany, Kentucky. I saw the Albany thing and thought New York. Albany, Kentucky, about 6 weeks ago.
Wow, cool. I will include that too.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, right now the way I work is first I gather all of the information that I can find, and then I try to piece it together, make an interesting story out of it. And recently I've been trying to tell my stories with my face on the screen because people seem to like that. I can't imagine why. But it makes for a lot less work for me. I don't have as much to edit if I'm just sitting here talking, where, if I'm doing the whole images and things like that, I spend a lot more time and Premiere Pro, and you guys saw what that screen looks like. It ain't fun. Anyway.
Folks, I'm going to post the link to Miss Naoma's channel, Naoma Finn Storyteller. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, and definitely you'll enjoy the stories she shares, check out her channel. It's youtube.com/Naoma Finn, and give her a like, share, and subscribe, and show her some love, and let's get her some subscriptions, and y'all can pop in and tell her that we sent you.
I love that. Trisha, I just put one up a couple of weeks ago, and I'm trying to get back into it. I'm trying to put my videos out more. 2023 and 2024 were a couple of really bad years for me, and I'm hoping 2025 will be a lot better.
So you and me both.
Yeah. I didn't go through quite as much as you did, but I kind of wimped out a lot more than you did. You hung with it, and I don't know how you did it, because I was having meltdowns every day.
They're sheer stubborn.
But anyway, I have officially become old, though, because now I have I've never had this before in my life, and now I do, and I'm not quite sure how to handle this.
I take what I refer to as a fun bag size of Skittles every damn day because of my heart.
Yeah,
I wake up and Annette hands me a container with like 9 pills in it every morning. And then I got to take more before I go to bed.
I take 8, and that's 4 in the morning and 4 at night. And if I have to add one more to that list, I swear I'm just going to say I give up. I'm going to die. I don't like.
I take like 9 in the morning. I think 4 at night.
Wow.
And my boys just shake their head because I will literally take the entire cap with all 9 of them in, put them in my mouth, and grab a drink of water and put them all down. Like, how do you do that without gagging? I'm like, I don't know. Taking Motrin in the Army, which were freaking horse pills. I don't know. Just swallow them.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not that person. Yeah, I'm a girl. I don't swallow. That was bad. I am sorry.
No, you're not.
No, not at all.
Maybe the people in the chat who haven't known you more than 5 minutes would believe that you're sorry.
No, yeah.
Maybe.
I don't fool people very well.
What you do is
says, tell me about Neoma. I've scarred him for life.
I need to keep the sound reaction board up, and that way I could wait for Miss Naoma to say something and then go.
When my kids were younger, the Marvin that's in the chat right now, he could especially, they have this look, and I would start talking about something, and they would get it's the happy place look. It's what they call it. Especially the oldest, the one that's in chat right now. He calls it the happy place look, because I'll talk about almost anything and not think about who's in the room. And his wife, I think, when they first got together, she was asking him, how do you deal with that? And he was just like, deal with what? I don't hear anything. Because he had the happy face look on his face. He had blocked me out. That's good training right there. Yep. I scarred my boys for life.
Good training or just survival? Just, depending on who you ask.
Survival, whatever.
Martha would probably say survival.
Yeah, they really, I'm not proud of it. I really did do some serious scarring without intentionally doing so. I probably people probably think, well, she probably was a fun mom to have. I was not. I was and I'm not being facetious here. I was a bad mom, and I scarred my kids unintentionally because of this kind of stuff. It'd be like 12 o'clock at night. Let's go for a ride in the country. We need to look. And they're like, look for what, Mom?
The big hairy thing.
Little boys do not want to go out looking for the big hairy thing with their mom.
Hit it, DA.
Whew. Anyway.
Give you a laugh track.
Yeah, there you go. I think the groan would have been better there.
We're gonna sound like we're in one of those 80s sitcom shows before it's over with.
Do you remember how like people used to come on, they like enter the stage and then the audience would do this and they'd have to kind of stand there for a second before they could deliver their line?
Like, to me, Good Times is the show that comes to mind whenever time you talk about that, because that was just one of those shows where there was always audience reaction.
I always thought of Fonzie on Happy Days.
Well, that one too.
He could not enter the stage. He could not come onto the stage without having to stop and let everybody...
Let them get it out of their system.
Yeah. It didn't matter what he came onto the stage. He could be like, step onto the stage, and everybody, yay! I'm sorry, he's dead. Didn't matter. Yeah. Love that stuff. I was just watching somebody talking about that. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the people from Deliverance.
I got cousins that might resemble that.
Yeah, I have. There are people from Deliverance who might resemble my cousins too. I'm pretty sure I know where they got those characters from. I've been there.
Clearly, you've never floated the Niangua in the summer. If you hear banjo music, you just got to paddle faster.
Let me put it this way: my relatives are all from Arkansas. What you got?
Well, Laclede County, Missouri is about as close as it gets.
I'm pretty sure they filmed that on the Saluda River in South Carolina.
Yeah. I know I've told this story before, and we're way off track, but you know me. There was a boy, his name was Dan, and I absolutely adored Dan. I really did. Great kid, but easily frightened, which made him just an absolute victim for me. And we were coming home from a baseball game, and he was riding with us, and we were taking back roads because I never take pavement if I can avoid it. And we got to this point where we were crossing the Edwards River, and I understood that. I knew exactly where we were at. We were going to come down, and we were going to take a really sharp left turn. We were going to go past this old abandoned looking house that actually wasn't abandoned, but there'd be lots of cars parked out in the yard, and the house was all dilapidated. Inevitably, there would be at least two people sitting either on the porch or in the front yard in old lawn chairs. And then we would take a right turn, go down onto this old dilapidated bridge, cross the Edwards River, and go on. And as we were coming down to that first turn, I told Dan, I said, now, I want you to understand, Dan, we're going to come to this place where this family lives, and they have a reputation. They're cannibals. I know that if we let them know that we're coming by, they're going to try to stop our car. They're going to catch us, and they're going to try to eat us. So you need to be really, really quiet when we go by. Okay, now ready? Now, hopefully they won't be outside. We come around that corner. Of course, they're sitting out there. And I'm like, oh, my God, see all those cars? Those are all people that didn't get away. But we're going to be all right. We'll be okay. We're going to come around this, and we go down onto the bridge. I slipped the car into neutral and I turned it off. And I said, oh my God, the car died. That kid was 14 years old, but I swear to you, he was ready to tear the door off my car trying to get out of it. And I thought he was going to. I had to literally start the car and get going to keep him from ripping my car door off. He never forgave me for that, but it was one of the greatest moments I ever had. I'll never forget that. Anyway, yeah. I loved when my kids were younger. I could scar them and all their friends.
Gotta love stuff like that. It's like taking cousins snipe hunting.
Yeah. Cow tipping, snipe hunting. I've been there, done them all. Oh, shoot. Anyway. Well, I can tell you about the time I scared them all at a birthday party by pretending to be a ghost in the window. That was fun. We did actually. I mean, we lived in a haunted house. There's no doubt about that house being haunted. And all you had to do was tell those kids once that the house was haunted, and then everything you did or heard or every sound you made would terrify them.
Oh yeah.
So,
But kind of back on subject, kind of. When you're looking for stuff in a video like the one we watched tonight, you're probably going to find it. Sometimes it's pareidolia, but that leaping between the trees, that is not pareidolia. Something moved. I can't say what. Maybe after in time, we can find a way to clean that up a little better. But as of now, all we can say definitively is that was something that jumped between branches on that tree.
I have one image that I'm going to do my best to see if I can't clean that up. I sharpened it. I'll probably take that still and put it into my Photoshop and work on it there and see if I can't make it even better.
Well,
if I can get something out of it,
we'll be happy to talk about it and show it on the show.
At the very least, I'll post it in on Facebook for you in the whatever it's called on Facebook. Words escape me anymore.
Angry drunken German says it was pulling down thick branches. Those cracks sound like lightning at times. Yeah, that's not a small monkey doing that. Yeah, if capuchins are what escaped, they don't get to be much more than about 20 pounds, and that's a big one. There was no way that was a capuchin, and that was not a capuchin that jumped between trees. That was closer to, I would guess, chimp size. And I think it'd be all over the news if we knew chimps had escaped. And 2 years ago, I don't remember hearing anything about chimps on the loose in South Carolina, but normally chimps don't get that aggressive.
Well, and the thing about those particular monkeys is that they, even when they had the most recent escape last November, I think there was one in 2016, and I mean, there have been several, but they always said the same thing. We don't worry about catching them because they will come back. And if those that don't come back, then we'll go looking for them. That's what they did in November. They let a lot of them come back on their own because those are animals that are conditioned that this is where the food is. So they're not going to be out there tearing up Jack and, as my great grandmother would say, tearing up Jack and spitting in his ass. They're going to go. Yes, my great grandmother said that all the time. They're going to go out there and climb around in the trees and come back, but they're not going to be aggressive like that. That was aggression that you were seeing in that video.
And the one still where we got the eye shine, like you were saying, and when we were pointing out, the face looked angular. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was coming down to a snout.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being chimps. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. I wouldn't rule it out. But I think we've definitely got a legit video.
The thing with chimps, though, if it were chimps, yes, they can act just like was in that video. They can do the things that were in that video. But the one thing that chimps are going to do that we didn't see or hear in that video is they're going to be vocal. Because tell me a video you've seen of chimps being aggressive where they weren't hooting and hollering and vocalizing. That's generally what's going to happen if it's a chimp.
And I don't know about chimps. I don't know if they are active at night. I don't really know that much about chimp behavior, but those things were active in the dead of night.
Right. Somebody was saying about Genesis Labs, that's what they've admitted to, and no telling what they were tested. My understanding is that that's actually a facility for breeding the monkeys, not for testing them. They send them out other places for testing. I could be wrong. Anyway.
So, at the end of the day, you've got to make your own decision about what you see in that video. We saw something. It is not a clear enough image for us to definitively say exactly what that is. I know what I think it is, but again, that is just my opinion, and I'm not gonna downplay anybody for thinking it's something different. If you believe it's a bear, uh, I would disagree with you because I don't think bears can do that. Not the way that thing was jumping between branches. But if you're convinced it's a bear, then who am I to say it's not? But the thing is there's so much odd behavior in that video. All I can say for sure is it's not an animal that should be in South Carolina. At least
I think,
what we're supposed to know.
I mean, if a bear will push on the base of a tree, but it felt like that was more like a grasping thing. I don't know.
Well,
I'm that's what, disregard that remark. That's wishful thinking on my part.
but
Angry drunken German said bears don't care about staying hidden.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is, bears will climb trees, but that's it. They'll climb the trunk of a tree and go straight up. They don't traverse from limb to limb.
Yeah,
And that's that's what
they're
when
not
I was-
arboreal by nature.
when I was having this discussion and that I pointed out to DA with somebody in the comments, that was the thing I'll say. Look, if you want to believe it's a bear, that's fine. But I have a right to share my opinion of why I think it's not a bear.
Right.
And the things that stand out very clearly to me of it not being a bear are the things I've lived in this state my entire 50 years of life. I've seen a lot of black bears. DA has seen the picture, and Naomi, you probably saw the picture we put on there. That the big one is just right out here a couple months ago. There's like a 600-pound black bear in between mine and my mom and dad's house. I've seen black bears. I know what they look like. I know what they're capable of. They will go up a tree, but that's the thing. They go up the tree and they go down the tree. They don't mess around with going out from limb to limb.
No, they're not arboreal. They don't live in the tree. They don't climb from tree to tree. They don't do anything that is that sort of a nature. And
typically it's only the cubs that will go up the tree for just to go up the tree. If an adult's up the tree, there's usually some other kind of reasoning.
He's up there to drag something back down.
There you go.
Or to get away from something bigger.
True.
There's that too. So that's why I believe that it was not a bear, for the reasons that's not normal bear behavior when it goes up a tree. Yeah. I mean, you can have a 1,200-pound grizzly bear go up a tree. They can climb. They just usually don't unless they're going up after something. And that's usually when grizzlies will climb a tree, is when they're going up after something, like DA just said, to drag something back down. So, right. Like I said, there's plenty of reasons that people can say, well, I think it was a bear. Fair, but there's also plenty of reasons that I can say I don't think it was a bear. So
I think, it's going to be a bear at a tree the same day it's going to be me on doing the Nutcracker Ballet.
Torsten Gingerbeard says he's got a bachelor's in ecology environmental services. He's participated in multiple studies regarding North American Ursus bears. What the video displays mechanical motions that cannot be attributed. Saying bears cannot physically do that.
Which is exactly what we said. They go up, they go down. They don't
jump from branch to branch.
Yeah.
They eat, they sleep, they poop in the woods, but not in the wintertime.
And use rabbits for toilet paper.
That's right. Because they don't have a problem with
their fur.
That's right. So that's what we know about bears on this show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, I think we've done a really thorough job of covering this video from multiple different perspectives.
Yeah.
And even the few things we did manage to isolate are just really compelling. And when you watch that video, especially if you watch it at slow speed, watch it at 25%, you're going to see things that you're not going to see at full speed. Because the first time I watched that video, I didn't even notice the eye shine at the bottom of the screen. I was too busy watching the top of the trees. But there's a lot of stuff in that video that is, if this was a hoaxed video, they went to tremendous lengths to hoax it. There was no way they were bringing down that much tree branches without a chainsaw. Yeah, they might have pre-cut some of the branches, but it would be next to impossible to pull those down without trucks. Yes, we did hear a truck a couple times in the video, but nothing close. And I really believe that we would have seen something. So to me, it's just,
Well,
and from the
the thing
motion
is,
in the trees,
they
something's up.
almost you spent at least 2 or 3 days watching it in slow motion. Do you
I
not
spent
feel?
most of the last week.
Do you not feel that if there had been cables and wires and things like that attached to tree limbs, watching it at the speed you watched it in the slow mo, do you not feel like you would have probably seen at least one or two that would have shown up?
The very
It could have
first thing that I did when I was looking for it was I started by watching. I've traced every branch that fell. I looked at where it fell from, where it fell to, and I traced it all the way back up. There was nothing attached to anything that fell. Then I started looking at anything that I saw moving, and it was either the natural movement of a branch or something that was not cable connected. The next thing I started looking for was I tried to eliminate all things that were not eye shine. And that was pretty easy to do. 90% of what you see in that video is a lot of either stationary lights that clearly belong to houses or apartments, whatever, beyond the trees, reflection from the pond, or leaves falling. So there was some insect activity too. The eye shine, there was eye shine that I could not isolate completely to show that it was anything more than two things glowing. The two that were so obviously animals to me I isolated those and we looked at them. And that was the one at the base of the tree, or close to the base of the tree, and the one that was up in that little hole. But my goal going through that was not to find something to prove that it was. I was going through it to debunk anything
and
to prove
that's
that
the
it
way
wasn't.
we do most every video we get sent. I look for how do we explain this video?
Right.
Because unfortunately, there's a lot out there that are just obvious fakes. They're either AI fakes or there's somebody in a suit, and you watch these videos, and if it moves like a person, it's probably a person. And so I would rather err on the side of a caution and say, I believe this video is fake, even if I can't prove it, then just, say, okay, I absolutely believe this video. But this is one of those rare cases where I believe there is something in this video. Can we say what exactly? No, we can't. But I can tell you what it ain't. And it's just astounding me that what we've seen in this video, and if this has been a hoax, I guarantee you that apartment complex would have sent somebody to jail for the damage they did to those trees.
Yeah, that was the other thing, the destruction that was going on there. That was,
somebody would have got arrested.
Yeah, that was a criminal act right there. You don't put that, well, a lot of criminals do, and they go to jail for it. But, that's not a smart thing to do. And the other thing is, I'm not going to lie, I can be fooled. Pareidolia, I hate pareidolia because it'll get me every damn time. So I go in with that attitude. Okay, you're going to fool me. How am I going to keep you from fooling me? That's the attitude that I look at it with, because I know at some point in the video, I'm going to get fooled by something. But I feel like every day I spent 2 or 3 hours going through this. In fact, I was glad when DA sent me a message and said Wednesday we weren't going to do the show, because I was like, good, I need a couple more days with this. Because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. And I still miss stuff, But
yeah,
I think we did a good job.
We could probably spend another week watching that video and still find stuff we didn't catch the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and again, that to me, that just lends credence to it being a legit video, because if somebody was going to hoax that, they would made a lot of that a lot easier to see.
Yeah.
A hoax video, you want people to believe it's real, and if you can't find it, how are you gonna even point it out and say, oh, there was a creature here? If you don't know it's there, and the guy obviously didn't know it was there, how are we supposed to see this as a hoaxed video? Because none of this, I believe, was intentionally framed.
Yeah.
every bit of the things we found, we had to hunt for.
I'm sorry, now I'm singing. Feed your head. Anyway. Yep. So there's that.
Well, folks, we're coming up on the top of the hour, 2 hour mark. I'm going to post the link again, so all y'all remember to go by and give some love to Miss Naoma's channel, and give her likes, shares, and subscribes. Check out her videos because they're awesome, and so is she. And we're always happy to have her on the show because she's always a hoot and a half. And much like spending time with a toddler, you never know what's going to come out of her mouth next.
Better than not knowing what's going in.
True. And I remember that with my kids.
On cue.
Yeah. That out.
I really do miss hanging out on this channel with you.
Well, you're always welcome. You know that.
Yeah. I always feel like you've got enough in the house to talk about it. There have been a few times when I thought, I'm going to tell them to send me a link. I want to be a part of this conversation.
Anytime you want to, you just jump right in. I'll be happy to send you a link.
Oh, well.
So y'all make sure you go by and like, share, and subscribe to her channel, and let her know how awesome she is by becoming a member of her channel over there and checking out her awesome videos. And don't forget to check out Robbie over at Lone Wolf Customs, because he's doing some pretty amazing stuff over there as well. I know we usually do one of our affiliates. We usually do that at the beginning of the show, and I completely forgot about it tonight. But Robbie, how about, since it's right now 10 o'clock, how about you tell us just a little bit about Scallywag Tactical, because the boys over at Scallywag Tactical have a tremendous sale going on right now on both blemished blades and end-of-year closeouts.
I'm going to excuse myself for a minute while you do that.
Right then.
I just don't know if I've got any scallywag stuff laying around that I could use to illustrate. Oh yeah, I think I got some stuff laying around here that I can.
Yeah, me too. One or two maybe.
Just a few, just two that I grabbed. This is the Double Trouble and the Skinner.
This one's the Crow's Nest.
Yeah, anybody that's been on the show for more than 2 or 3 minutes, or been a friend, has seen the Scallywag. The DA, Doc, and I've all got a lot of blades from them, and we got them for a reason, because they're good blades. I mean, I make my own knives, but there's there's some high quality in these blades, and I'm not saying my stuff is not, but I'm nowhere near this good yet. So going over to Scallywag, they've got a bunch of new stuff out. I mean, it's like every day that I go on there, there's like a new blade that's popped up. I'm like, wait, I didn't see that yesterday. Where'd that come from? There's just, if you like knives and you like sharp, stabby stuff like we do, because we do like our sharp, stabby stuff.
Damn right.
Because a good knife has to do 3 things. The Doc's not here to say it, but I'm going to lean on Dad, because I guarantee you he knows. It'll cut you 3 ways. What are those 3 ways, DA?
Deep, and continuous.
That's right. If it's a good knife, it'll cut you 3 ways: long, deep, and continuous.
If you don't need one of Doc's kits afterwards, it ain't sharp enough.
Exactly. And those of you who know that DA and I both we're in a very, very elite club. That as far as I know, me and him are the only 2 members of.
Morons that cut themselves with Scallywag knives on the air.
That would be the one.
I was there for one of them.
Well, you probably in the chat when I did mine.
Well, I did, but I was actually.
Yeah, you were actually in the show when he did it, but you were in the chat when I did it.
That thing bled for like 20 minutes too.
Oh, so did mine. His doc sending me text messages, and he's like, "Does it stop bleeding yet?" I'm like, "No."
I didn't even know I was cut until I looked down. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, I knew it immediately. As soon as I cut that blade, I said, "Oh crap, I'm cut." And Doc sent me a text. He said, "You cut yourself, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, I figured. He said, I saw you. He said, I saw that body movement. He said, oh no, he didn't try to catch that knife. So, yes, good blades. Go get yourself a Scallywag Tactical. Make sure you hit code DA Roberts 10 and checkout. Get yourself an extra 10% off. And that does stack up with any sales that they got, the blemish blades, any sales they got going on. That's an extra 10% off the top of anything else they got, whatever sales they got going on.
They got some awesome deals on the blemish blade now.
They've usually got some really good stuff going on. And that's the thing about the blemish blades. Sometimes you get on and there's not a whole lot of, you'll have 5-6 blades on there. But then sometimes you'll get on there and they'll have 30 or 40 on there. And the thing with the blemish blades is you might get, there's a box. They might have a stack of knives and something fell over and crushed one of the boxes. And that's just the way Craig is. He's not going to sell you something brand new that doesn't look like it's pristine and just come. That's just Craig. That's the way he is. So he's like, okay, that's crushed. I'm going to sell that at a discount. Nothing wrong with the knife. The box is crushed and he's selling it at a good discount.
That's why most of my blemish blades have been something wrong with the box.
I think we found one of your knives that had
a little scratch on it,
micro scratch on it,
and I only found out after looking for it.
Yeah, because we were actually looking at. You said, I want to look and see if I can actually find a blemish on these blemish blades, and we finally found one. But the thing is,
it was a scratch that was almost if you hadn't been looking for it, probably wouldn't have even seen it.
No, and so go check them out. Use code DA Roberts 10 at checkout. Tell them we sent you. Craig and his guys will take care of you. They'll make you a customer for life. I love to tell a story about how they did. Steve broke the tip off his knife. They didn't have to go or have Steve send his knife back and fix it on their own dime, but they did. Now, Craig kind of scolded him a little bit and gave him a talking to and told him what not to do. But still, you're not just a number to them like you are a Benchmade or Gerber or any of these big brand names. All they care about is, hey, we sold our next knife. That's all they care about. To Craig and his guys, you're a customer, and they're going to do what they can to help you out. So go try them out. You will not be sorry, I promise.
Definitely. And that's all we got to say about that.
Yep. And Kevin, you're right. I can do a custom engravings on your Scallywag Tactical blades. That's the one I did on my Skinner. DA's got a couple of engraved.
I sure do. Well, folks, since we are after the 10 o'clock hour, I want to take a quick minute to remind everybody of the 22 a Day Foundation. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that is 22 too many. These are preventable, folks. Reach out to your friends and family that wore a uniform, whether they be a first responder, National Guard, Reserve, active duty, military. Reach out to them, let them know you're thinking about it, let them know you care, because the holidays are a rough time on a lot of folks. And, never forget, we live among giants. This is one of those shirts that I got from Till Valhalla Project, and on the back it's got a whole piece about the flag and everything. But with the green screen, I'd knock it over trying to turn around and show you. But check out Till Valhalla Project, because it's for veterans by veterans, and everything that they collect, every bit of profit they make goes right back in. They buy prosthetic limbs for veterans. They buy service dogs. The Till Valhalla Project is the real deal. They're not like a lot of these supposed charities. So, I used to give a lot to the Wounded Warrior Project, and I won't anymore because I read their financial statement that they have to legally post online. And in 2020, they gave away more to corporate bonuses than they actually went to the veterans. So I'm not about that. I want to help the veterans as much as I can. That's why I'm proud to support Till Valhalla Project. So check on your friends and family that have worn a uniform in any capacity. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because you never know when that simple hey asshole, how are you doing text might be what keeps them off the edge that day. And those of you who've worn a uniform know that, yes, that's how we talk to each other. Just because that's how we are. That which does not kill you, leaves you with a dark sense of humor and a bunch of really fucked up coping mechanisms, and that's one of them. So again, reach out to your friends and family, let them know you're thinking about them. And we've been closing out the show here lately with a toast, and that's one I'm pretty proud of, and one I want to continue. And it doesn't matter what you all are drinking. It doesn't water, tea, anything. Doesn't matter if it's stronger. But we've been closing the show out from a song called "The Parting Glass," which is an old Irish drinking song, which is played at the end of the night at bars all over the world, old Irish pubs. But when you listen to the lyrics, it's not just saying goodbye to those that you're lifting a glass with for the last time that night. You're really lifting a glass to those we've lost along the way. And I'm going to close her out with a toast. And
My husband
there you
knows me well.
awesome. And the toast says, "But since it fell into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all." Good night, everyone. Slanja.
Slanja.
Thank you for joining us. Catch us again Wednesdays and Saturdays on DAX Machina. A special thanks to all our channel members and Patreon supporters. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.